Hello there, welcome back to Gap Girls BTS Reactions. We are finally reacting to This Is BTS, Introduction to BTS by Celeste or xCeleste.
I like this because I need to learn more about BTS and the history, how they got started, their journey. So this is an excellent introduction to BTS.
Yes, and we have been getting comments that we need to react to this for a very long time. And we did the introduction by Taylor, which is on our channel. So now we're just adding this one as well.
All right.
Getting two different perspectives.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, let's get started.
How many of you have heard of BTS?
Who is BTS and why are they so popular? BTS is a 7-member group from South Korea. While the words boy band are often associated with the image of screaming teen girls, that is far from reality. First, there's nothing wrong with being a young person showing love for something you enjoy.
That's right.
But what if I told you about 24% are in their 20s, 28% are in their 30s,
That's
and
me.
21% are in their 40s. Take a
You're in
closer
the
look at
4%.
this age and gender demographic for BTS's 2020 Map of the Soul ticket sales. Females ages 25 and up made 46% of web traffic, and 31% were males. BTS's fans, named ARMY, will often tell you BTS is not your typical boy band. And why?
I feel like 31% male fans is pretty high.
It is. It is pretty high for a boy band.
For a boy band, I would think, because I remember back when the boy band in my youth was NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, O-Town, 98 Degrees. I didn't meet a lot of other boys. Actually, I don't remember a single boy who can say that they also listened to them. It was just me and all the girls.
But I do understand the numbers because they are very relatable.
Oh, well, and that's exactly what I think is going to be discussed, is that they're not just a boy band. They're just so much more. So I think that's why their appeal to a larger audience over a larger age range and with both male and female is so much bigger.
Yes, I'm discovering just through the comments that there are a lot of people my age. That's a huge fan. I love it.
A lot of people will say, "Oh, I'm a 60-year-old ARMY," or "Oh, I'm 70-year-old ARMY," or something like. We get a lot of comments like that.
Or a couple that would make a comment that he took his wife
Oh, yeah.
and their daughter to several BTS concerts. So it's just incredible.
To get a better understanding, let us go back to the beginning. BTS was created by Big Hit Entertainment, whose mission statement is music and artist for healing. The company, and namely their CEO, Bang Si-hyuk, wanted BTS to be sincere and genuine figures that people could easily relate to and grow with. Not immaculate idols groomed amid studio culture, but real boys who shared their authentic personalities and talents with the world.
Love that.
Which
That
is why
is so
BTS
smart.
stands for 방탄소년단, Korean for Bulletproof Boy Scouts. Bangtan meaning to be resistant to bullets, so it means to block out stereotypes, criticisms, and expectations that are aimed at adolescents like bullets, to preserve the value and ideals of today's adolescents. In 2017, BTS rebranded their name and logo representing their growth and maturity, extending the meaning to beyond the scene. The new door-inspired logo symbolizes youth who don't settle for their current reality and instead open the door and go forward to achieve growth. BTS debuted on June 12, 2013 with 7 members: RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. All 7 members came from different parts of Korea. So at first, living together in a small apartment was a challenge. Their CEO, Bang Si-hyuk, created a method for the boys whenever they got into an argument.
일단 싸워도 된다. 싸움을 두려워하기 때문에 우리 갈등이 커지는 거다라고 가리키고요. 그 다음에 마지막으로는 단 해결은 7이 같이 하는 거다. 싸움은 둘이 해도 해결은 7명이 같이 해라. 하기 너무 창피한 걸로 싸움을 해도 결국은 같이 와서 저희가 이런 문제를 갖고 둘이 싸웠는데 이렇게 해서 이렇게 해결했습니다 라고 얘기를 하고, 그런 부분들이 이 팀의 친화력을 혹은 시너지를 강하게 만들고 있지 않나 이렇게 생각합니다.
So smart.
Over the years, the boys have
Yeah, because they all seem so close. And I'm sure in the beginning when they were, 10 years ago, because it's been 10 years now, that of course you're going to get into squabbles. You're not always going to get along all the time. You're going to have differences, especially if they were from all different parts. But it just seems that there's an understanding between all of them now. There's, like he was saying, there's a flow and a synergy between all of them. There's camaraderie and brotherhood between all the guys. And they're not going to let these little fights come between them.
That is so smart. It is so smart that he, a father figure, the adult, is teaching them how to communicate in a positive way, because that's very rare. It's very rare that you work things out.
Yeah.
And you're taught to work things out. So instead of screaming and yelling and having hostility against another member, and this is just a positive way to approach conflict. So they're probably so used to it now, so they immediately just work things out. And it's okay to have disagreements. It really is just okay to not have the same opinion as somebody else, as long as you respect the other person and you have a conversation, a calm conversation.
Yeah.
And you know me, that I told myself many years ago that I would not scream and yell at anyone, that I will walk away and calm down and then come back and then have a conversation. It's just not me to yell and scream. So I really respect this approach.
Yep.
come to love each other despite their difference in personalities, to the point where they'd feel incomplete with one member missing. They became each other's strength and support and formed a brotherhood.
내 머릿속에는 옆에 멤버들이 있어야 뭔가 자연스러운, 그러니까 뭔가 내 핸드폰이나 지갑처럼 없으면 불안한 그런 것들 있잖아.
그죠. 소중하다 못해 없으면 안 될 사람들이긴 하죠. 왜냐면은 넘어져도 저 혼자 일어나는 게 아니라 그냥 같이 일어난 거니까.
좀 생각을 해보면 이런 7명이 어떻게 모였을까라는 생각이 들어요, 이제는. 네. 오래 지냈다고 해서 될 문제는 아니에요. 어떻게 보면은 운명인 것 같아요. 네. 되게 유치하지만 그냥 운명이었던 거예요, 이건. 네.
Their climb to the top may seem sudden to those who didn't follow their journey, but it was far from a walk in the park. BTS's company, Big Hit Entertainment, started off small and faced numerous hardships, even coming close to bankruptcy. Since Big Hit wasn't a large company at that time, they lacked the resources for promoting BTS. Even getting the chance to debut was a fluke. Their debut performance opportunity came about because a music show needed a filler for someone else's spot. Even after they debuted, their performances would often get cut, and if they did make it on air, their screen time was very short since Big Hit didn't have the power or influence bigger companies had over broadcasts. Since they were
That is actually very surprising, something that we didn't know. I knew that Big Hit was small. We've kind of learned that from other BTS intro to BTS videos, but I didn't know it was that much of a struggle for them to get any kind of performance or airtime.
Right.
So it makes their success that much sweeter.
It does. It does. It puts things into perspective that they had very humble beginnings.
Yeah. And then what I was going to say before, but I forgot, is that a lot of bands break up all the time.
That's
because
true.
the members just don't get together. They have too big of creative differences and they can't resolve their conflict. How many groups have we reacted to that have actually broken up?
Right, right.
And BTS is still going strong. In fact, they love each other more than ever.
Well, anybody can learn from this, whether you're in a band or in a family, in a work environment, a group of friends. This can relate to anyone in any situation, to just work things out, talk it through, respect the other person, respect the other person's opinion, whether you agree or not, because that is that other person's feeling or perception of things. So that was a great start.
Yeah.
Often not invited to a lot of big variety shows, the company found their own way to communicate with their audience through platforms such as YouTube.
That's so
By
smart.
vlogging their journey, they allowed us to discover their personalities.
That was
They
very
also
smart.
created their own variety shows and often live streamed with fans.
That is so
They
smart.
honed their crafts for hours on end, practicing in the dance studio and producing music, returning home at dawn to all sleep in one bedroom.
Wow.
2 years of hard work and not knowing where they'd end up, they finally won their first music show award. Yet, as they grew in popularity, they were falsely accused of sajegi, which is when a company buys their own artist albums to boost sales for the charts. That's because people couldn't believe a group from a small company was selling well, ignoring the fact that a small company wouldn't have the resources to pull off such a scam. These were just a few of their hardships and struggles.
That's too bad.
I created a separate video highlighting their past hardships. I'll link that in my description box. Throughout the years, BTS were able to reach impressive milestones while continuing to sing in Korean. They shattered cultural language barriers with music and attracted an international audience. They grew organically by staying true to themselves while building a genuine connection with their fans from around the world. During an era where streaming numbers have gone up and traditional album sales have gone down, BTS has become an industry anomaly. Their latest album, Map of the Soul 7, released February 21, 2020, is the best-selling physical album of the year.
No
And they
surprise
sold
there.
over 500,000 copies in just the United States alone. The biggest kicker? Well, BTS did this without a single bundle. And what does bundle mean? Artists would bundle merchandise or concert tickets with the album's sales. For example, a copy of an artist's album, digital or physical, would be included in every t-shirt sale or ticket sold for their concert. These sales would count towards charting numbers and become an industry-wide tactic in the US to help boost sales figures and in effect climb up the Billboard charts.
I had no idea.
In
I
a
didn't know.
2019 New York
Does that seem a little sneaky to you?
I don't know. What do you mean?
Well, because Celeste was just saying that when you would buy a concert ticket or a t-shirt or a mug, you would automatically get a CD with that purchase, and that would increase the album sales.
Oh,
but the
okay.
person wasn't buying the album, they were buying a t-shirt or they were buying ticket sales. So it's almost kind of like a crafty way to increase their album sales just so that they can say that they're charting artists.
Okay, I see
And
what
so
you're saying.
BTS never had to do that because their albums sold because people were buying their albums, not because people were buying a t-shirt and getting an album bundled with it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Times article, they said about half the 39 titles that topped the charts last year were sold as part of ticket or merchandise bundles.
Oh, I see.
Without the help of bundles and driven by the power of armies alone, BTS were able to beat a lot of historic records, such as Michael Jackson's 36-year record and the Beatles' 22-year record. While these musical acts are famous around the world, Suga has said it's a great honor to be called the Beatles of the 21st century. At the same time, it's a bit pressuring to be called that. We are BTS. We want to be the BTS of the 21st century.
I understand
The
and
members
respect that.
themselves have
Yes,
always
definitely.
been involved in their music and engaged with their fans, even before they officially debuted. From their debut album, Too Cool for School, in 2013 to their most recent Map of the Soul 7, all 7 members have contributed as either writers and or producers on every album. All of BTS are associate members of the Korea Music Copyright Association, and as of August 2020, J-Hope, Suga, and RM were all promoted to full members of the association.
Wow.
They
That's
even
fantastic.
create music that's released for free on SoundCloud as gifts to their fans. Much of their work touches on subjects like mental health, youth and female empowerment, child abuse, cyberbullying, self-love and development, and socioeconomic injustices. Much of their work is also inspired by past writers and thinkers. Their latest series, Map of the Soul, incorporates psychological concepts by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. BTS is not afraid to use their platform to amplify underrepresented voices and issues, taking numerous risks with their career while receiving backlash from people in power. BTS are also as charitable as they
Before we get into their charity thing, because she's kind of switching gears here, this is why BTS is popular among multiple generations and all genders, because they represent more than just singing kind of teeny bopper pop music.
Oh, definitely.
Which I won't name any names, but music I listened to when I was in elementary school, middle school, and there was no real substance behind any of the music. I'm sure that they didn't even write their own music. It wasn't their own lyrics. And they were probably controlled a lot by their label or the producer or the record company or
definitely.
something like that. Whereas it's very obvious that BTS has incredible creative control and artistic control over their music. And they sing about so much more than just, you know, some silly little pop song.
Right. I agree. I mean, even for me in my mid-60s, so much of their music is so relatable. Sometimes I'll watch one of their videos and it inspires me or makes me think or puts me in a good mood or makes me happy when I'm feeling a little down. And then I think, how can these young men who are so much younger than me, decades younger than me, how can they have so much emotional power over me in a positive way? In a positive way. How am I learning from these young men in my mid-60s? How is it possible that I'm learning from these great young men in their 20s? How is that possible? But it's possible, and I love it, and I respect them because I think, wow, if I could have only been as wise as them.
When you were their age.
Yes. I wouldn't
Well,
have,
same for me too.
I wouldn't have made half the mistakes I've made in my life. But they're remarkable.
They are talented. Throughout the years, members have been donating individually and as a group. BTS rarely publicize donations, so fans often find out about them if media organizations uncover the details. One
don't try
of
to take the
BTS's
credit.
few public announcements
that's
was
rare.
in November 2017 for their Love Myself campaign. They partnered with UNICEF to create a campaign aimed at protecting children and teenagers from around the world, with the hope of making the world a better place through music. BTS and their company, Big Hit Entertainment, pledged 500 million Korean won and donated 3% of the income from the sales of physical albums of the Love Yourself series, along with 6 other fundraising initiatives, including the Love Myself merchandise, where 100% of its proceeds were pledged to the cause. The Love Yourself series, which contained 3 albums total, sold over 7 million copies worldwide. On September 24, 2018, BTS was invited to deliver a speech about the Love Myself campaign
love this
at the
speech.
United Nations General Assembly. On January 15, 2020, Formula E announced their partnership with BTS to help combat climate
I didn't know
change.
that.
I didn't
On
either.
June 3rd, 2020, BTS tweeted their support for Black Lives Matter. A few days later, Variety reported that BTS and Big Hit Entertainment had donated $1 million to support the Black Lives Matter movement.
Good
When
for
armies
them.
got wind of the news, they matched their
That's
$1 million
amazing.
I heard about
donation
that.
in one
That's
day.
amazing.
Now, these are just a couple of their acts of charity. With their socially conscious music, BTS created a new fandom culture that brings together fans from different national and racial identities. This led to the emergence of bilingual ARMY volunteers who translated BTS Korean lyrics and videos in their language almost real time, making the content immediately available to non-Korean speakers. We may all
Thank
speak
you.
different languages, but their music and their message connected people from around the world with different ethnicities, background, gender, and age. BTS has also expressed their love and respect for ARMY countless of times, such as always mentioning them first during speeches, responding to fans on their social media app Weverse, showing their appreciation for ARMY projects, halting rehearsals for the Muslim prayers in Saudi Arabia. The youngest member, Jungkook, even got the fandom name tattooed on his hand. Together with ARMY, they grew as individuals and as artists.
저는 굳이 영향력을 주는 거창한 것에 안 원하고 그냥 저희를 보는 분들이 행복하고 웃을 수 있다면 그걸로
팬이란 게 진짜 뭘까 막 이런 생각을 가끔 많이 하거든요. 결국 그 사람들 때문에 저희가 무대에 서는 거라서 그 봐주는 사람들을 위해서 노래를 하고 무대를 하는 거기 때문에 결국 우리는 그 사람들한테 진짜 감사해야 되고 무대 하나하나에 최선을 다해야 되고.
간단하게 얘기해서는 가수를 하고 있는 어떤 제일 중요한 이유인 것 같아요. 저는 뭐 방송 활동도 물론 싫지 않지만 진짜 콘서트는 그냥 제가 이 방탄소년단을 하고 있는 이유가 맞는 것 같아요.
Whoa, look at that.
참 다행히도 내가 원래 하고 싶었던 메시지 하고 싶었던 음악들을 하고 있어서 참 다행이라고 생각을 해요. 그러기 때문에 되게 그렇게 살고 있는 것 같아요. 긍정적인 에너지를 주죠. 일단 이 일을 좋아하는 거, 이 일을 사랑하고 너무 좋아하는 게 저에게 큰 영향을 주는 것 같아요. 왜냐면 이 일을 하기 싫고 실증이 나고 하면은 무대 위에서도 나타나기 때문에
That's
이
true.
일을 굉장히 사랑하기 때문에 내가 무대 위에서 퍼포먼스를 할 수 있고 노래를 할 수 있는 것 같아요.
계속 와서 응원해주는 모습, 그리고 이렇게 저희를 진심으로 좋아해주는 그런 표정들, 힘들 때 그런 표정들이 저에게 더 힘을 주는 것 같아서.
저희를 알아봐 주신 여러분들이라면 여러분의 꿈이 아니더라도 여러분의 삶, 여러분의 인생에 언젠가 저희의 존재가, 저희의 음악이, 저희의 무대가, 저희의 사진, 영상이 여러분한테 아주 조금이라도 아픔이 100이라면 그 100을 99, 98, 97로 만들어줄 수 있다면 그걸로 저희의 존재의 가치는 충분합니다. 정말 사랑합니다.
Their love for ARMY has also helped them decide on re-signing another 7-year contract with Big Hit Entertainment. They mentioned doing it for their fans and not for money. So while people often discredit BTS's talent, likening their popularity to superficial aspects that come with the image of a boy band, it is their development of personalities and sincerity towards their art and their fans that made their fandom the size and reach that it has become. I hope people will come to realize that BTS is more than just their singing and their dancing
Definitely.
skills. They're not just performers, but artists who have healed and inspired millions of people around the world. For a deeper dive into BTS, please refer to these websites, apps, and ARMY accounts to stay updated. We're also working on more video projects and a website, so stay tuned.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I really love this video. She did such a wonderful job explaining it, and I'm looking forward to watching more of her videos. And I like her voice. You know, she explains things very well, very simple for me. But I really enjoyed that so much.
Yeah, I think it gives a very quick description of why BTS's army and fandom is so big. Simple enough that people who don't get it could understand it within 15 minutes.
Right.
It didn't take a deep dive into every struggle and all the things that they've gone through, but it's really a great introduction to just somebody who might say, oh, they're just a boy band, you know, whatever. And then they can watch it and get a general idea. No, they're not just a boy band. There's so much more than that. That's why their following is so huge. That's why they're breaking all kinds of musical records. And I love Suga saying that he doesn't like being compared to the Beatles. He just wants to be the BTS of our generation. And I totally understand that, because they're not trying to replicate the popularity and anything that the Beatles did or accomplished. They're their own people, their own group, and they want to be recognized for that. So I totally get that. And so this was just a great, just quick video to really understand why they are so incredibly popular and loved.
I have so much respect for them, and I think it's beautiful that a lot of people are deeply affected by them in a positive way, whether they're going through depression or some hard times. They thank BTS for giving them hope.
Yeah.
I think that's such a beautiful thing. And I just love their diversity, their message, their positive message, and that they're human too. They go through hardships. They go through troubling times, and they go through their own depression. And, you know, we can all pull through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
And I think they're a great representation of friendship and brotherhood and how well they get along together. And you were saying family members can take lessons from them, or groups of friends, or other bands, or just kind of any group of people that see each other on a regular basis can kind of take a few cues from them on communication and just getting along, just trying to be positive with each other, accept each other's flaws, and just love each other. And I love that they say that they need each other, because that's not something you hear a lot. And I think that that's really sweet. And
yeah, because I need you.
Yeah. And vice versa.
Right. I don't know what I would do without you.
I don't know what you would do without me either.
Yeah. That's true, though.
What would I do without you?
Yes. We spend a lot of time together.
A lot of time together. I feel that these guys are very emotionally intelligent and very wise.
That's good.
Because, you know, we've definitely have not always been, we've always been close, but there's definitely been time periods where we haven't gotten along. And it would have been nice to kind of use their methods of kissing and making up kind of thing.
So a lot of people can learn a lot of lessons from them. They're so wise for being so young, and their leader really emphasized that, which I think was great.
I think that's one of the reasons why they're so successful, is because starting from the top, they had a really good leader who wanted to give them creative control and didn't want them to just be one of these overworked kind of robotic idols. He wanted to give them that creative control and let them have that humanness to them, that relatability that makes them so popular.
And didn't she say in the beginning, I don't know the exact words, that not only for them to have the talent, the singing, the dancing talent, but also to have a positive message. So
I love that.
That's just beautiful.
Well, I'm glad that we finally watched this.
Me too.
Because it just puts you in a good mood, makes you appreciate them again. Not that we don't ever not appreciate them, but just kind of gives you a reminder of this is why they're so great.
So popular. The biggest band in the world.
Yep, exactly. So thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.